CVille Show. This program airs wherever you get your social media and podcasting content. It airs live and it's archived in the same places. We want to be the water cooler of conversation for Charlottesville, for Albemarle County, and for the region we call Central Virginia that is roughly 300,000 people strong. You don't have to agree with us. You don't have to disagree with us. You could just listen. We want just the content to originate here and to get you thinking, the viewer and listener thinking about topics that are local to you. We understand that it's become a media desert. We understand that we've been in this community for 24 years and have a print, radio, and television background before launching the company 16 years ago in downtown Charlottesville. And we want to aggregate that experience, the skill set, and the technology to pass along a localized product to you, the viewer and listener. We highlight partners that make this program possible. If we can highlight Mexicali Restaurant, Judah, with some imagery that would mean the world to me. On West Main Street, Mexicali, Johnny Ornalis, River Hawkins. What up, what up, what up? Johnny Ornalis and River Hawkins. They have a restaurant that is art museum, that is cocktail bar, that is California and Hispanic fusion, that is live music venue, and dude, it is crushing it. West Main Street, Old World of Beer location, 50 parking spots in the building that we call the Flats, a building initially developed by Corin Capshaw. 10-year anniversary for that building just passed. We'll also give some props to our friends at Pro Renata, Dr. John Shabe. John Shabe, you are a visionary, John. I hope this gets back to the doctor. He goes from dentist to beer baron. Explain that rite of passage, that segue. Dentist, Judah, to beer baron, to real estate developer. That's what John Shabe is doing. I mean, this brand employing, 100 plus people now. I want you to think about that, ladies and gentlemen. So much to cover when it comes to Pro Renata, whether it's live music, great beer, Dino's Pizza, Move Through ice cream, and a playground for kids. We've fondly dubbed it the Disney World of Crozet. And our friends at Charlottesville Business Brokers, online at charlottesvillebusinessbrokers.com. The business is booming. If you need to sell your business, if you want to buy a business, reach out to us at Charlottesville Business Brokers. I got local media, Judah, watching us right now. We'll go to a two-shot. We'll welcome Wickower. I ask them the same question to start every program. Judah, Wickower, jack of all wits, jack of all trades, the Elmer's glue of this I Love CVille Network. A network, Judah, that just saw the launch of a brand new program. Thursdays at 2:30 p.m. Judah, the Downtown Spotlight, hosted by whom?
Greer Achenbach.
I thought her first episode was pretty fantastic. What did you think?
I thought it was great. She did a wonderful job. She does a great job keeping people talking, and I think it's an informative show.
It's going to positively spotlight the most important 8 blocks in the region. Thursdays, 2:30 p.m., the Downtown Spotlight. Judah Wickower, the headline most intriguing to you today.
Oh, man, so many good ones to choose from. I think it's pretty wild that they recently found the so-called mother of Virginia hops, right in Albemarle County.
Is this a woman?
Nope.
This is not a female? This is not a human?
This is a type of hops.
This is a strain of hops.
Yeah, most hops don't grow well in Virginia weather, and there was one, I believe it was a hybrid that was created a long time ago, and a UVA professor, I believe it is, recently found this strain on his property, on his farm, and so it's making a resurgence. I think that's pretty cool.
The mother of Virginia hops recently found.
Yeah.
Is that going to create a hoppy, hazy IPA?
I think it will.
A lager of your choice?
I usually like less hoppy beers.
I'm a hoppy kind of beer.
I know you are.
I think the program works because Judah and I are pretty much opposites in every capacity of life. I think that's why the program works. Judah, the top headline. Put the lower third on screen, my friend. Do you want to set the stage with this headline? Or shall I? First, read it off to the viewers and listeners.
UVA AAUP. That is short for University of Virginia chapter of the American Association of University Professors.
I mean, they're pretty much backing the 128 that signed the letter that said no confidence for UVA health. They are backing it.
Mm-hmm.
This is a reputable organization. The 128 that signed a letter that said they have no confidence in UVA health attributed said no confidence to fraudulent billing practices, nepotism, cronyism, bullying, overpayment of C-suite, straight up shadiness in the hallways.
Yeah.
Utilizing power to keep folks from speaking out against BS that was happening bedside, medical chart changing to maintain performance standards and accolades from third parties. Pretty serious stuff. Now we have another organization that's gotten into the mix here.
Mm-hmm. They sent a letter. It details some of what they agree with, using delays and denials of promotion and tenure as retaliation, implementing non-transparent and inconsistent standards, lack of involvement of faculty in budgetary matters, violations of professional conduct and ethics standards.
Dude, these are serious.
Inappropriate disciplinary actions. I mean, I think we can safely say that the 128 what's the word?
UVA physicians groups,
signees, signatories.
People who signed the letter.
I don't think they were just huffy about not making enough money.
Yeah, I don't think that's what this is about. I think
some people were alleging that.
Well, the unfortunate timing of this is it came out after the Cavalier Daily that CEO of UVA Health, Craig Kent, received a $500,000 year-over-year raise. So they're associating the announcement or the Freedom of Information Act request that the Cavalier Daily, the UVA student newspaper, did, where they uncovered that this chief executive officer, Craig Kent, got an extra $500,000 year-over-year as sour grapes. There was a couple of things public relations-wise or strategy-wise, media strategy-wise, that these 128 signees could have done differently. I've highlighted that on this talk show. I'm basing it on PR. I'm basing it on running brands. I'm basing it on media experience. Not signing the letter, I raised a hand saying you should have signed it. Releasing the letter freshly after the Cavalier Daily said that Craig Kent got $500K year-over-year raise. That was then utilized as sour grapes. Oh, you didn't get the same bump. Oh, you think he's overpaid. Now we're pumping the letter. The reality is it's this. The 128 who signed it, they're not public relations aficionados or brand wizards. They're part of a physicians group.
Yeah. And
they said they've been trying to clear some of these issues for an extended period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have an independent, multiple people are asking, Judah, what's the AAUP? What's the acronym?
American Association of University Professors.
This is a story that I don't think is going to go away. It's not going to go away. We'll continue to follow it on today's program. We did not really hear anything from the Board of Visitors meeting Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday that transpired of last week. I would imagine this topic came up at the BOV.
Mm-hmm.
We have heard from Craig Kent, we've heard from the medical school dean, and we've heard from Jim Ryan. If you're the 128 doctors, you need to follow up in some capacity. Because if you don't follow up, does anything happen?
Right.
And the power they have is the power of numbers, the power of group. And how they should follow up is getting more to join the team. That 128 should increase. Probably how they should follow up is by announcing who they are. That's how real change happens. Real change doesn't happen in anonymous capacity, through anonymity. Look at some of the folks that have made real change happen in U.S. history. Politics, medicine. They wore the change as if it was a name tag on their chest. AAUP backs the buck 28 in the physicians group. Pretty big deal here.
Yep.
Pretty big deal. Next headline, Judah B. Wickower, Jack of all trades.
Next up is the Carlton mobile home.
All right, I'm going to spend about 5 minutes on this. Sean Tubbs has fantastic reporting on this. Sean Tubbs, you're doing excellent work. Excellent work, Sean Tubbs. Here's a point of concern that I have here. The expectation to close on this deal, is September 17th. That's tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Council is meeting about this and hearing the future of the Carlton Mobile Home Park tonight. We're talking about $8,700,000 in financial assistance from the city of Charlottesville. $8,700,000 of taxpayer money. Habitat and PHA are basically saying, hey guys, give us taxpayer money to the tune of $8,700,000. We want to close tomorrow. That means you're going to have to give us the green light tonight. If you don't give us the green light tonight, we don't close tomorrow. We still do not know details of the anonymous offer, the $7 million plus offer for the mobile home park, Judah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't we have a right to know that as taxpayers? Did that offer exist? Trust but verify. Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
If you want to watch a fantastic show on Prime, it's called The Reagans. I think you guys would enjoy it. I just started it. It's pretty darn good. I also very much have enjoyed watching Industry on HBO Max. It's a sidebar for you. Here are some of the details, Sean Tubbs, on the Carlton Mobile Home Park. There will be at minimum 180 dwelling units, Judah.
Eventually, right?
Eventually. For 3 years, they have to keep it a trailer park.
Yeah.
Home to 63 families.
Yeah.
So for 36 months, they have to keep it a trailer park. They can raise the rent like $5 or $10 year over year. Literally, that amount.
Mm-hmm.
And then after 36 months, they can develop the trailer park into 180 units. Deep Throat has made this point. I've made this point. That they missed the boat on buying the trailer park and should have instead done some kind of joint venture with Albemarle County to purchase Cavalier Crossing. That was 500 units. These are 180 units. Mm-hmm. Cavalier Crossing, 500 versus 180. More details on the Carlton Mobile Home Park. 5 of the 180, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, will be reserved for households with incomes between 0 and 30% of the area median income. Can I ask you a genuine question?
Sure.
5 of the units in this development will be reserved for households with incomes between 0 and 30% of median.
5 of the 180?
Yeah. So what is that? 5% is 9. So we're talking 2.5% roughly.
Yeah.
If this is a sincere question. If you're making income between $0 and 30% of area median income, even if you get incredibly reduced housing, how are you still paying your bills in Charlottesville?
I mean, if they're right at 30%, that's actually not bad, right?
0
Yeah.
to 30%. You would imagine it would be closer to 0 than 30%.
How is someone making 0 going?
That's a question I have for. That's my question. If you have 0 of the median income, should you be given one of these 5 units?
Somebody's got to pay for it, though.
If you have 10% of median family household income, that's $124,200. You're talking $12K.
Mm-hmm.
Should you get one of these units?
I'm not sure what you mean by get. You mean be given one of the units?
Yeah.
Free of charge? No rent?
If you're earning $12,000 family household income,
I'm not arguing or disagreeing.
I'm just trying to understand
clarity.
this here. I'm trying to understand it. That's one of the caveats here. 5 of the 180 households with income from 0 to 30% area median. HUD said Charlottesville Metropolitan's 124.2. Next headline, or next tidbit of this deal. At least 5 will be provided to households with incomes between 30 and 50% of AMI. 30 and 50% of AMI, that's 5 units, not 5% as Sean Tubbs has highlighted, 5 units. 30 to 50% of AMI, I'm on board with that. 70% of the 180 will be reserved for rental or ownership for households with low and moderate incomes. That level is not specified, though.
So right now we're looking at 74%.
We're talking 126 units, 126 of the 180.
You're talking about 74, 75%, right? With the
like 75%.
Yeah.
And then the remaining 25% of the units, 56 of them will be sold at market rate. Market rate.
Well, I wonder if these will all be the same units or if they'll be different based on who they're going to.
I would imagine it's a housing type that is a variety of type. A variety of type. We saw that with Southwood, with the PHA development down 5th Street Extended. I think it's going to be a variety of type of housing. Kindlewood is another example. The old Friendship Court, the old Garrett Square.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a variety of units. This is what's interesting of this deal. The $8,700,000 that us as taxpayers are funding this deal. This is interesting, and I said this would happen. The money will be considered a loan, and interest will be forgiven if development is completed according to the terms. Here are the terms. Construction will commence by December 31, 2029, and be completed by December 31, 2033. Market rate and affordable units will be spread throughout the whole property. That means you're not just going to cluster the 5 units that have zero income, and the other 5 that have barely other income.
Yeah.
They're not going to create pockets of poverty in this development. They're going to sprinkle them throughout, as if they were sprinkles on top of a sundae. Red, white, blue, and green. Different kinds of sprinkles. You don't like that analogy? You roll your eyes. I think the sprinkles is a good one.
Red, white, blue, and green?
That's what color sprinkles are.
You just seem to...
You like your sprinkles to only be one color?
I
like the cornucopia of colors with my sprinkles. You're not a cornucopia of colors with your sprinkles?
I don't mind a cornucopia of colors. I just thought it was an odd... red, white, and blue is obviously, all over your shirt. And then adding green to that is just, I don't know, it threw me.
The project's budget will be publicly accessible from the City of Charlottesville to the City of Charlottesville. Here's my issue with this. I continue to have issue with this. $8,700,000 loan.
Mm-hmm.
If the interest is forgiven, what is that called?
A really good loan?
It's called a gift.
No, because the rest of
it's called a gift.
Paid off.
It's called a gift.
No.
How's that not a loan?
I just said it was a loan.
$8,700,000. The interest will be forgiven, considered a loan, and interest will be forgiven if development is completed according to these terms.
I'd love a loan like that.
Who wouldn't want a loan like that? There's no interest on this. You meet these standards, there's no interest on that. You know what what is the opportunity cost of this $8.7 million, and how could it be used elsewhere? The next question I have for you is this. This puts a significant onus and significant responsibility on nonprofit developers to create a type of housing in the most strategic way possible. We saw with some of the housing stock that was created down 5th Street Extended in Southwood, that was not necessarily cheap housing. It was expensive. When you looked at the total cost of it at the end, it was expensive to create. Is it best to allow nonprofits to be the developer of housing? Or is it best to allow actual developers who do this every day to develop the housing?
I mean, I think the problem is that...
the actual developers wouldn't create housing like this?
I I think that's less the problem than the fact that we don't know, we can't see the future and see the outcome. And so I think for a lot of people in Charlottesville, that is a level of hands-offedness that is, I think, terrifying to them. And so the fact of letting private companies come in and build is, I think, the fear is that they're just not going to create any affordable housing, and so somebody has to step in and either force them to, or hand the project off to a, something like what they're doing with Carlton.
Deep Throat makes this point. The construction at the mobile home park is not going to start until December 31, 2029, and it's not going to be completed till 2033.
Mm-hmm.
And that's if they're on time.
That might give the people in the trailers more than the 3 years.
And that's if they're on time.
Yeah.
I'll equate it back to the school reconfiguration of Buford. Let's spend $70 or $80 million to reconfigure a school, Buford Middle School.
For kids that are
Let's raise taxes to reconfigure a school for kids today that won't get to enjoy the reconfiguration.
Yeah.
Taxes that will further gentrify the community and push the kids and families on the financial margin away from living in the city because they can't afford it anymore. Basically creating reconfiguration, not for those on the financial margin or households of need, but instead creating reconfiguration for those that were able to withstand
10 years of higher taxes.
10 years of higher taxes. It's the same thing here with the mobile home park. The project is going to be completed in 9 years. 9 years and 3 months.
The counter-argument to that is we have no idea what the timeline would have been for the mystery buyer.
The counter-argument to that is, did a mystery buyer even exist?
Yeah. I know.
Why has anyone not asked about the mystery buyer?
That was the first thing I asked. I was like, is this even real?
Deep Throat, 10-year money via muni bonds cost the city about 3%. Compound that for 10 years, and it will cost the city 34% of the principal balance to do this. You know what that's called? Opportunity costs. I just think this whole situation is so, Ginny Who, thank you for the retweet, convoluted.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's so convoluted.
Mm-hmm.
John Blair on LinkedIn, an interesting question. In real estate transactions, have you ever seen someone who is asking for a loan try to jam the bank into financing the loan? I've never seen this in either the public or private sector. Why does this have to be done right now with an emergency ordinance, not subject to a second reading? Shouldn't the lender have as much time as it wishes to review all details of the deal and request any details that the council feel is necessary? Yeah. Staff at City Hall is literally saying, due to the timing of the closing on the property, staff recommends that the requirement for a second reading of this ordinance be waived pursuant to a 4/5 vote. That's like saying this. Viewer and listener, Judah and Jerry, Bobby Sue and Billy Joe. You want to buy a house. You go to a local lender to qualify for a mortgage. And you go to the local lender, I want to buy this house on Wednesday. Today is Monday. Give me my money today or tomorrow because the deal is closing on Wednesday. And backing the lender into a corner. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
When you're buying a house, you're at the mercy of the lender unless you're an all-cash buyer. You're at the mercy of getting a pre-qualification letter. You're at the mercy of providing tax documents. If you're self-employed, you're giving your firstborn and half your secondborn's body. Trust me, I just went through this. It's a vetting process. You're at the mercy of underwriting. You're at the mercy of lenders that will ask for every Tom, Dick, and Harry document. And if you're self-employed, I'm telling you, it's even worse. The city is the lender.
Yeah.
Something seems odd to me here. Bill McChesney, mayor of McIntyre, has this comment. It's the same reason that Ridge Street between West Main Street and Cherry Avenue wasn't made 4 lanes to connect 5th Street Extended and Ridge McIntyre. Optics. We should ask these questions. Got a counselor watching the program right now. Got one supervisor watching the program right now. And I'll stand by this, Judah. Okay? Mm-hmm. Before I get off this topic, Piedmont Housing Alliance and Habitat for Humanity, local, came in the bottom of the 9th inning to buy 6 acres to save 63 or 64 families that were in mobile homes. They scrambled. When you make decisions in haste, at least from my experience, the decisions that I make hastily or quickly or rapidly or when my back is against the wall or where I'm feeling third-party pressure or some kind of pressure, those are often the decisions the outcomes that don't turn out best for me or my family.
Yeah.
The decisions where I'm able to consider all aspects of a deal or all aspects of outcome and utilize some vision, some foresight, some experience are the ones that work out best. We just closed a substantial deal, our family, on a deal that I've been working on since June of last year. From June of 2023 until August 17th, 2024. It's a 14-month deal I've been working on, a substantial payday. But it genuinely took me 14 months to navigate the deal and to get paid.
Yeah.
Best one-time payday in my life on this planet. 14 months of work and effort.
Yeah.
Habitat and PHA came in the bottom of 9th inning to buy this mobile home park to save 64 families. They were put against the wall and had the proverbial gun against their temple. And in the meantime, another deal potentially materialized, Cavalier Crossing, that would have given them 500 units in the urban ring, Old Lynchburg Road, Fry Springs neighborhood, that would have required 0 development and would have saved 500 families or units as opposed to the 63 with the mobile home park. 500.
Yeah.
And if they had gotten half the loan, half the 8.7 from Charlottesville, and another half from Albemarle County, they certainly would have been able to get a $20 million loan. And then they would have been able to save all those families.
Yeah.
Compare and contrast the deals and see which one has a greater impact and which one has the more immediate impact, which one has the more sustainable impact, which one has the less headache on taxpayers, which one offers the most relief now, tomorrow, and 2 years from now, 20 years from now. Next topic, please. Judah B. Wickower, Jack of all trades.
Next up, UVA Endowment will not divest from Israel.
You know, I give the University Investment Management Company, that's the outfit that manages the $14 billion endowment. $14 billion. Remember, U.S. News and World Report had UVA ranked in the top 15 for universities from an endowment standpoint.
Yeah.
That was 2022 numbers. In 2022, the UVA endowment, 15th nationally with public and private colleges and universities.
Yeah. The
UVA endowment was what? $9 billion with a B?
When? You're saying 22?
2022. It was $9,703,267,510. That was 2022. It was a U.S. News and World Report article that came out in 2023 using end of fiscal year 2022 endowment numbers. That number has now gone to 14 billion plus. So at close of fiscal year 2022, they were at 9.7 billion, and now they're at 14 billion.
And apparently it also underperformed recently.
Slightly underperforming.
Yeah.
Slightly underperforming. They're looking for an 8% return. They're clocking a 7.5 return.
I doubt anybody's crying.
7.5 versus 8%. Okay? Now, they were getting some pressure, the University of Virginia investment management company, to divest its holdings of Israel. 8,000 students and a lot of professors were politicking, were protesting, were signing, were pushing. UVMCO.
8,000 voted.
I would say that.
And 68% of that 8,000 approved of the disinvestment.
Okay.
The referendum.
Good. Thank you.
That's what I'm seeing here.
Thank you. UVMCO basically said, our primary objective is to generate strong returns for UVA. How we place our money is not about politics and protest.
Yeah.
We do not use our investment strategy as a means of expressing a moral political opinion. They also said to the Board of Visitors a few days ago that we're not really sure how the money is placed in all regards.
Yeah.
We have 85 external managers of our endowment, and we don't have a perfect visibility into each one's underlying positions.
Is that something? Is that something that should be worrisome? I mean, I'm not. I doubt that they're invested in.
Well, you're saying that part of their underlying positions are with some cocoa farms, some cocaine farms in Colombia? I don't think that's the issue.
Oh, I doubt it is. But considering everything that's going on, it would seem that a little bit of non-opacity, transparency, might be a good thing, especially.
Go ahead.
Especially when it comes to investments.
I don't even think the folks that manage the endowment at UVA know every holding or position.
I'm sure that's true, and I'm not coming down on that. I'm asking the question. Would it be wise to keep track of where your money is invested?
I'll put this in perspective.
The law states, ignorance is not an excuse.
I'll put this in investment from a small potato standpoint. I own index funds and ETFs amongst companies that I love, that I like to invest directly in, like Amazon, Apple, NVIDIA. NVIDIA is my top holding. It's been my top holding for a long period of time. Our top holding. In the index funds and the ETFs, I don't even know all the stocks and equities that are bundled together in these index funds or ETFs.
Yeah.
Like if you own the Qs and you have other tech in your portfolio, some of those tech positions are going to be in the Qs.
Yeah.
And some people are saying you're double investing in the same company, which creates exposure for your portfolio. I'm sure that's the case for me. And it's small potatoes compared to this endowment.
Yeah.
The Attorney General of Virginia previously condemned the university's student referendum as anti-Semitic. And the Attorney General of Virginia noted in state law uncertainty in state law over non-financial investment considerations. The governor's office later asked public colleges and universities to verify that investments are unrelated to social or political interests. The governor is literally saying, public colleges and universities, the investments you have in your endowment must be unrelated to social or political interests. You know what he's saying? What does that mean right there?
He's saying, don't support your local war.
No, he's saying make as much money as you can with your endowments. That's what he's saying.
Okay.
And then the head of UVMCO says, we do not like using our investment strategy as a means of expressing a moral or political opinion.
Yeah.
When you go to your financial advisor, and let's throw a plug for equity for Emergent Financial Services, the ERPs, and you sit down from the ERPs, Alex and Nicholas and Xavier and Michael, and you talk with them about future, is the plan not this? Grow my wealth and my retirement? Please? Do you sit down with your personal financial advisor and say, grow my wealth and my retirement, but please don't do it in ways that impact furry animals or lumber in the rainforests or water or help me out with some other...
Some people might.
Okay. I would bet you that's few and far between.
You're probably right.
When it's all said and done, people may speak it and people may wear it. Mm-hmm. But when they're closed doors, I would bet you they don't act it. Because when it's closed doors and it's just them and their bank account and their advisor, you know what they want? The account to grow. We were really honest with ourselves.
That's true. I think a lot of people, though, would also argue that there is accountability in where you put your money.
The one argument you can make that I think is a decent argument is this is a public university. So as taxpayers and residents of the Commonwealth, we should expect transparency with how the investment fund is run. And you could, if you wanted to make a really convincing argument, you could say, Jerry, in the first topic of the show, you said there was not transparency with the first offer with the mobile home park. There should be more transparency with this $8.7 million loan. It should not be forgiven without any interest. We deserve transparency as taxpayers. And you could have utilized that argument against me when it comes to UVA with how it's managing its $14 billion endowment. And I would counter by saying this. If you don't allow the endowment to maximize as much returns as possible, then you're not going to see the endowment create opportunity for students and families that are not of means for future attendance at UVA.
Is that worth your conscience?
My conscience says grow the endowment as much as possible. My conscience says they're at 7.5%. They were expecting 8%. Why'd you miss your 8% goal? And why are you 15th in the 2023 rankings? When you're the #1 public university, #2 public university in America, and you're considered a new Ivy League.
You think they should have been higher than 15th?
I think there is a direct correlation with academic rankings and endowment rankings. Here are the 2023 U.S. News and World Report rankings. All right, I'm going to give them to you. Who do you think is #1?
Harvard? I don't know.
Yes.
Wow.
#1 is Harvard. How'd you get that, Judah? Because of the prestige of Harvard. Because of where it stands academically. At the end of 2022, fiscal year 2022, the universities, private and public, with the biggest endowments are as followed. Harvard, Yale, Stanford, Princeton, MIT, UPenn, Texas A&M, Notre Dame, University of Michigan, John Blair's alma mater, Duke University, Washington University in St. Louis, Emory, Vanderbilt, UVA, and Cornell. That's the who's who of the academic ranking. There's a direct correlation between academic ranking and endowment ranking. A direct correlation. And that's a show we could spend an hour unpacking. Why is there a direct correlation between academic ranking and endowment ranking? I could spend an hour unpacking that for you.
Is the amount they bring in each year also correlated? Because I wouldn't think so.
I don't follow.
In terms of the return, they were hoping for 8%,
and they got
7.5. I mean, isn't that like even the best hedge fund is not always going to have the largest returns of all the hedge funds every year.
It's dependent on how your positions do. I mean, look what's happened. Just take, for example, with NVIDIA. Look what's happened with NVIDIA over the last 30 to 45 days.
Yeah.
It's been a volatile roller coaster ride. Some of us have bought more NVIDIA. NVIDIA got below 100 a share. It's like 97, 96 a share within the last 30 days. It's a buying opportunity. I think it's at 115, 117 right now. It's a buying opportunity. Up and down.
Yeah, that's my point.
Next headline, Judah B. Wickower, jack of all trades, jack of all wits.
Let's see. Sticking with UVA, their protest policies are already being tested.
I don't want to put this in a nutshell for us. You got people camping out in tents, staying out longer than they're supposed to be on UVA grounds. Is that pretty much it?
No. This one's actually pretty tame. Some students were on grounds with a table, creating posters, also continuing to, in fact, wanting UVA to divest from Israel. And they were told they can't have a table on grounds.
So bad.
So they pulled up the table and they got the permission of a student who has a place on grounds. Got permission to set up their table outside the door.
What, like on the lawn or something?
Yeah, on the lawn. Where they were again approached and told that they can't have a table there. When they explained that they had permission from the person living there, they were asked for the person's name. They refused to give it and subsequently took the table down and ended up sitting on the grass, continuing to make signs with the table set up against a wall.
This is the world we live in. And at the same time, it's getting accolades for its freedom of speech from third parties.
They didn't kick him off. They just said, you can't have the table here. Take that as you will.
All right, let's go to the studio camera over there.
What? No.
Let's go to the Market Street camera. We got a downtown brouhaha happening.
I can't see anything out there.
Is there anything over there? Things we see outside this window.
Did you see anything? I didn't.
But did you hear it?
I did hear it.
Is that a downtown brouhaha?
It's definitely a brouhaha. And it is
downtown melee?
I don't know about that.
A rumble in the jungle?
The jungle of Charlotte.
Here's the point. That's why I don't want to spend a lot of time on this topic. UVA, at this point, and where it's been in the news cycle, with the murder of the 3 football players and the failure to release the audit report of what happened, with the
I don't know if I'd call that a failure.
The unwillingness to release the audit report of what happened that led to the 3 players being murdered and what they did wrong at that point. UVA has not released that report.
Right.
Would you say that does not make them look good?
I don't think it makes them. I don't think it puts them in a bad light.
I think that puts UVA in a bad light. Absolutely, it puts them in a light of having something to hide.
Not when there's an ongoing investigation.
We'll agree to disagree on that one. Mm-hmm. How about how the May protests were handled?
Oh, that was definitely a
Pepper spraying teenagers.
kerfuffle.
Pepper spraying teenagers.
Right?
Did you see in the Cavalier Daily? Everything is now A-OK with the students in the pepper spraying pro-Palestine melee?
I saw the headline. I didn't read it. Does this include the 4 that refused to take the plea or to accept?
We'll have to look into that. But you saw that headline, right?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can read the headline.
Because I thought the university had already tried to pardon everyone, but 4 people had decided to stick it out and fight it. Because
my point, now you got the physicians group thing, the 128.
Oh yeah.
You got the protesting issue. You got the tour guides issue.
Mm-hmm.
You got the Jefferson Council picking it apart. My point is this: why create more potentially negative content over a folding table?
It's a good question.
Why add to it? It just doesn't make strategic sense.
Yeah.
They're doing it over a folding table. It's like, what is it? You know what marriage is? Marriage is choosing which. Marriage is a lot of things. I by no means profess to be. My wife would agree with this. A marital genius. She's like, Jerry, don't give advice on marriage. She's watching right now. That's what she would say. But marriage is, in part, a constant compromise. And knowing when to make a fuss of something and when to swallow your pride or to choose not to make a big deal of something.
Yeah.
That's Virginia. UVA should learn a little bit from a marital counselor.
Wow.
Go to some PR therapy.
Do you have one to recommend them?
Next headline.
Mother of Virginia hops.
This is your headline. I genuinely thought this was an actual female woman mother.
Oh, we've been on.
You give us the nitty gritty on this?
Yeah. This strain of hops is called Greenmont Mother. It's got a mild flavor profile of peach and citrus, and it's going into local lagers, ales, and lighter beers. This was, I believe this was gone in 2018, just weeks after the team harvested the first small crop of hops, because they were trying to import hops from outside of the country, hoping that they would grow well. And this guy finds native hops growing near a stream. Hop growing was never widespread in Virginia. Some did import hops between 1750 and 1800. Thomas Jefferson and James Madison among them. Genetic testing shows that this find was 100% American hop variety. And it's a type of hop that grows better in our particular climate, and is a great find. I mean, this means that more local breweries will be able to use local hops.
That's good. Anything that offers the success of local businesses, local breweries, I'm all for.
Yeah.
Next headline, I believe, is also your headline. That was your headline. I believe this is also, the next one's your headline, too.
Yep.
Judah's going to this is going to be a hell of a correlation, viewers and listeners. Judah's going to dovetail or correlate and deer population in southwestern Virginia to Fluvanna County Public Schools getting a donation from a gun manufacturer and branding at elementary and middle schools in front of kids for said gun manufacturer. Can't wait to hear this one, Judah.
So the fact of the matter is that we've got deer overpopulation in Southwest Virginia, and that's not only bad for your gardens and your crops. It's also bad for your kids and your pets, because more deer means more ticks, which means more possibilities for Lyme disease. Now we've got this issue in Fluvanna, and the fact of the matter is, we talked about it before, but this is not a logo that's widely recognizable. This is an area where kids are probably being taught to hunt at earlier ages, and this is not the same thing as advertising for alcohol and cigarettes and vaping, because they are legally allowed to go hunting. And here's a perfect reason for them to be out hunting during legal deer hunting periods, because we have an overpopulation of deer.
I got a fantastic follow-up email from Donna. Donna's made our program better over the last few days. I'd like to relay her email to you. I thought it was a good topic for last week. Mm-hmm. She said, "I'm glad I could add to the conversation. My daughter just told me you read my email. I can't watch or listen live at work, but I will watch and listen. My final thought, a tool for hunting is not equivalent to mind-altering drugs or alcohol. Bad people use guns, knives, baseball bats to do horrible things to other people. That's a heart issue. Red Arrow is first and foremost a hunting TV show producer. Watch an episode, it's pretty good. I recommend the Wyoming one that pops up on YouTube." She also highlights that she had 4 kids, all athletes, that went through Fluvanna schools. They're now 32, 30, 28, and 28. And she sends a photo of us with her husband and grandchild number 4. So she makes the argument, the guns, a lot of folks in Fluvanna see as if it was a tool and not a weapon of destruction. Yeah. I think that's a fair point. Mm-hmm. Is the last topic Colandria?
Let's see. We've got fall festivals in Colandria.
I'm going to spend a few minutes on fall festivals. My wife and I and friends and their kids are enjoying fall festivals. It's that time of year for fall festivals. If you have an opportunity, if you're a local business, to have a fall festival, I think it would be an excellent opportunity to get engagement with your brand and your business. Moms and dads are looking for things to do on the weekends with their kids.
Splash pads are closing up.
Splash pads are closing up. The weather is changing. Folks want to be outside. I can't emphasize enough the upside of a fall festival at this time of year. My wife has fall festivals lined up for us and our kids and other families for, I think, like 6 or 7 straight weeks. And I'll close with this if you want to put me on a one-shot. Anthony Colandria and Virginia football, a very difficult loss to swallow against the Maryland Terrapins. I'm still a massive Anthony Colandria fan, but the mistakes from Colandria were mistakes that cost this team a win. 2 interceptions and a costly fumble. Colandria now leads the Atlantic Coast Conference in interceptions as a quarterback. This is a guy that's got upside. This is the guy that's the unquestioned leader of the football team. But if the man does not take care of the football, we could have a very rocky year. Still, Virginia is 2-1 with Coastal Carolina and Boston College on the near horizon. I think this football team could very well finish 4-1 in its first 5 games. And that includes a Boston College team that is pretty darn good. I watched Boston College take Mizzou to the brink at Missouri. Colandria's got to take care of the rock. More of that on the Tuesday edition of the Jerry and Jerry Show. My name is Jerry Miller for Judah Wickower. Thank you kindly for joining us so long.